Welcome to this channel called Medical Article Interpretation. Today I'm going to talk about the study performed from Novavax about safety and efficiency of their vaccine NVX-CoV2373. It is a new Covid-19 vaccine, and the article was published in the New England Journal of Medicine. First, I start with the abstract, and here you can see what the vaccine contains. It is full-length spike glycoproteins of the prototype strain plus matrix M adjuvant. And matrix M is an adjuvant invented by Novavax, and you can read more at the Novavax website. And the adjuvant, it's also described what an adjuvant is. So just look at the Novavax website if you're interested. And in this study, the methods was to use a randomized, observer-blinded, placebo-controlled trial. And this is one of the best ways to perform a medical study. So they also had adults between the ages of 18 and 84 years. That's also good. And they were administered a dose of 5 micrograms of the Novavax vaccine with 21 days apart, 2 doses. And the results was that they had an efficiency rate of 89.7%. Okay, now we have read the abstract, and now we will dive into the article and look exactly what they've done and exactly what happened, because the abstract is just a small part of the total. So we start with trial procedures. Half of the participants received the vaccine and half of the participants received placebo. And placebo was just normal saline, but the participants didn't know what they got. And they also looked for COVID symptoms on a daily basis. And the COVID symptoms is the one according to the criteria of the FDA. So they looked for the symptoms and had made a diary where they monitored all the symptoms they might have. And they also did the PCR test regularly. The PCR test is the test that's used all over the world to detect COVID-19, but it also has flaws, and I will not go into the flaws in this presentation, but maybe it will be another one later on. So I'm not thinking the PCR test is 100% safe, and I think they should have used something else as well to detect the virus. And let's move forward to the, yes, here's a calculation highlighted here, how they calculated risk reduction. And the thing is, the 89.7% risk reduction, it sounds very good, but it is the relative risk reduction. Since the total out of around 14,000 participants, there was just 106 who got ill in COVID-19, both in the saline group and both in the vaccine group. So it's not that much. I think if you have a medical treatment, it should be more sufficient to give it to people if there is a wider spread of the infection. But I will not go into that either. It's just a comment from my side. Yes, here's the participants. 14,039, whereof 7,020 in the vaccine group and 7,019 in the placebo group. So it's balanced. And then they talk about the safety, about the adverse events. Mostly it was just some tenderness or pain. But they also had some more severe, and grade 4 is the most severe event, and 2 participants reported a grade 4 fever, and 1 was hospitalized. So there are 3 persons in the vaccine group out of 7,020 had a grade 4 adverse event. And here in this table, they have listed how many whites, blacks, Asian, Hispanics, other races there was in this trial. And as you can see, there are mostly white people, and very few percentage of black, Asian, and others. And this is a flaw in the study, because with the results, the outcome result from the study is just giving us information how it works on white people, because there are too few of the other ethnical groups. So that's something I think they should point out during the vaccine administration. And they also had participants with coexisting conditions, and that's good, because the person at risk for severe COVID-19 are those with coexisting conditions. Let's move to, yes, here is the adverse events. Yes, and as you can see here, here is all the participants and how many who got ill 7 days after the second dose. And 96 out of 7,019 and 10 out of 7,020. It's not that much. And the relative risk reduction is counted. It's the difference between 10 and 96. It's not calculated on the complete population in this study. If you calculate the absolute risk reduction, it will just be 1.22%. It's barely significant difference. So I don't think that's a result to brag about. But yeah, let's move forward. Yes, here was some interesting things. They reported 2 deaths in COVID-19 during this trial, 1 in the vaccine group, a 53-year-old man, and 1 in the placebo group. And the thing is, the one in the vaccine group, he had received the first dose when he got ill in COVID-19. And I think this is very interesting, because you shouldn't get ill in a disease of which you have received a vaccine. The vaccine should have worked and you wouldn't have died, I think, but that's my opinion. And in the placebo group, it's more likely to get severe, get the severe sickness when you're not vaccinated against the disease. And I think they should have mentioned that one man died. Because that's not a safe vaccine if one person dies, but that's my opinion. And then we look here to the groups. How many whites got sick in COVID-19 and how many of the others? And if you look at the other group, it's 1 of 297 in the placebo and 2 out of 302. And you can't say that much. You can't make a conclusion based on those numbers because there are too few from the other ethnic groups. I think they say, yes, they say here, too few non-white participants were enrolled in the trial to draw meaningful conclusions about variations in efficiency on the basis of race or ethnic group. And they are completely right. And therefore, I think they should have this in mind when they start administering the doses to people, normal people, because they can't for sure say that it's safe to give Black people, for example. They might be ill and they have severe adverse events. And they also say that further down that this trial has several limitations. Is because there were too few participants. They would have needed a couple of thousand more to make relevant conclusions about the rare adverse events. So this study, I think it's pretty good, but it had limitations. It has they would have need more participants. They would have need more other people than whites, and they would have been honest about the absolute risk reduction, because 1.22% is not that. I think you can't say that all people should take the vaccine if the absolute risk reduction is 1.22%. It's not worth it. So I hope you have had some, I hope you learned something for first, and I hope you have some questions and that you want to find out more. And I really recommend you to visit the Novavax website and look into the Matrix-M adjuvant and read more about it. And I wish you a nice day, and please comment if you have any comments, and subscribe if you like to hear more interpretations of medical reports. Thank you.